To say that support players get a lot of shtick in ranked matches is ultimately an understatement. A lot of other players are very quick to blame them for not healing or doing too much damage, but the reality is that they're doing the best they can. If they don't secure kills where available, it could lead to teamfights being lost, and them not getting their ult because healing doesn't charge the ult meter enough. But the weirdest thing about playing support in ranked matches isn't the mixed messages you get from your other teammates during the game, it's the fact that the new ranked system values damage and kills over healing and saves. So what do? Well, actually it's quite simple. You ignore your teammates and do damage, single-handedly causing your team to win because you're carrying the rest of the team. If your DPS can't secure kills, do it yourself, and one of the best supports to do this with is Moira. Moira is in this weird in-between when it comes to what role she is, because 9 times out of 10, you'll check your stats and see that you have a much higher damage number than a healing number, due to having to charge your healing gauge by damaging. We call this in-between an off support, as yes, they can heal, but they get more value out of damaging and killing the enemies. Moira, along with Zenyatta and Baptiste, is the perfect example of this. She has insane range and a lot of damage potential when we combine her beam and orbs to secure kills. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can make the most out of her abilities. But first, I'm going to ask you to subscribe and leave a like on this video, as I want to continue making Overwatch 2 related content that's not only entertaining, but educational too. The first tip I have for reaching max potential as Moira is something that I touched a little bit on earlier, and that's using your orbs in tandem with your beam to maximize your damage potential. Not only does this melt your enemies in a matter of seconds because of the 2 sources of damage, but it also A, charges your healing gauge faster if it's either empty or low, because they change it so that damage orb charges heal beam, and B, forces your enemy to play in certain spaces where they don't necessarily want to be playing in. Because you're chasing your enemy with 2 sources of damage, they're likely to run away because they don't want to die. So you create space for your team by pushing them away from the main team fight. It's a weird situation because as a support, you want to play with the rest of your team to, support them. But in reality, you should be pushing into the enemy team and getting a little bit aggressive because you have such a high level of survivability because of your fade and your heal orbs having the ability to heal you if you need to use them as a kind of failsafe. Talking about fade, this brings me to my second tip for playing Moira, and that's use your fade as and when you need to, not just for the sake of movement. Yes, it's good to use it to get to point from spawn faster, or to jump to the high ground, but reserving it until you really need to use it in order to get out of sticky situations is much more beneficial than using it purely as a movement thing. Being able to dip into areas where there's no fight going on, or there's a health pack really quick to keep yourself up and able to get back into the fight when you've recovered, is going to be much more beneficial than going zoom. That's Lucio's job, not yours. But I hear you saying, well, I can flank a lot easier and push the enemies much easier with my fade. And to that I say, yes, you can, but remember that you should be using your fade to position yourself in areas where you can recover from this solo push. My third tip for getting better at playing Moira is kinda an extension on a tip that I've talked about in my last few guides, and that's creating the off angle, but with the added aid of your range. Moira has insane range, being able to kill Farah, who's still airborne, at around 15 meters with ease, because you don't really have to aim with her. You just look in the enemy's general direction and they'll eventually die. This allows you to create some even more insane off angles from a distance. Yes, you can play in the enemy's backline, but even further back. But you can also play from the high ground and force your enemies to look up, creating an even bigger distraction and allowing your team to finish off the distracted enemies. Also remember that your orb has near enough infinite range, so if you need to finish off an enemy who's on literally just a slither of health, just throw that and it maybe will get a kill. 9 times out of 10 it does. My fourth and final tip for Moira seems very obvious, but it does take a little bit of having awareness of what your team is doing and how they are doing. This is going to be heal. Wow, big shocker, as a support you need to heal. But it's more than just that. You need to know when to heal, why to heal, and what to heal with. Moira's kit is quite extensive when it comes to how she can both heal and damage. She has her orbs that can both heal and damage, her beams that can both heal and damage, and finally, Coalescence, which can both heal and damage. Some people don't know that this ult can heal, which is absolutely crazy to think about. Yes, it can be beneficial to secure kills with it, and get picks on to squish your enemies. But if you see that a lot of your team is on the brink of death, get them to group up and then do some mass healing. Then go damage with whatever you have left of your ult. The recent changes to Moira mean that you can use your fade inside of Coalescence, so it's now much easier to position yourself and stay alive in your ult. To put it into a short sentence, only heal when you see your team at critical health. But that just about does it for my guide on how to play Moira. Out of all of the support heroes, she's in this weird state where people will say she's easy to play because you have so much survivability as her. But knowing what to do with her kit can sometimes be challenging because it's hard to know when to do damage and when to heal. The best thing to do is just ignore your annoying teammates. Remember, you're in the same rank for a reason. They're no better than you, so why are you listening to them when you should be listening to players that are in higher ranks than you? And if you're not playing ranked and you're in quick play and someone's whining about you quote unquote not doing your job, tell them to stop being a baby and enjoy the game. It's quick play, there's nothing to worry about. You're in there to learn heroes and have fun. Well, that's much fun as you can have playing Overwatch. Anyways, that's the end of this video. Once again, I'm going to ask you to like this video as it lets me know that you find these videos not only to be helpful, but entertaining. Let me know if you have requests for other heroes in the comments below, and subscribe so you don't miss that guide when it comes out. There are some heroes that I probably won't be able to make a guide on simply because I don't play them enough, but there are many more heroes on the list that I can make guides on than I can't make guides on. Finally, have a nice day or night if you're watching this at night, and make sure to check out my other videos. Not only will I appreciate it, but you might as well.